I remember that afternoon clearly. The sun filtered through our living room window, warming the cushions just enough to make my heart feel heavy. I told Michael to stay put. I didn't want him to leave the house, and yet I found myself opening the door. I didn't know what I was about to face. We had planned a quiet Saturday afternoon together, but earlier that morning, he'd seemed distant. Calls kept pulling him away. So after breakfast, I suggested he stay home. I baked his favorite banana muffins, hoping they'd anchor us back to each other. He nodded, smiled, and stepped out for the mail. Just for a moment, he said. Minutes later, I heard the front door. My heart misfired. I walked toward it slowly, bracing myself. When I opened it, there stood Anna, someone I thought I knew through Michael's golf league. Her smile was polite, warm, and entirely unexpected. She said she was in the area and thought she'd drop in to say hello. No stormy confrontation, no tears, just a kind, casual visit. I stepped aside and invited her in. The house smelled of muffins and vanilla. You'd think that comforting aroma would soothe me, but instead my chest tightened. I noticed how Anna's jacket brushed my organizer on the hallway table. I greeted her calmly, offering muffins and tea. She said she'd been through the neighborhood on a whim and thought, why not? As we sat in the living room, light through the curtains, she spoke about a recent project she'd tackled at work, a community garden. Enthusiastic, articulate, real. I chuckled at her stories. Somewhere between her anecdote about runaway seedlings and her praise for Michael's support for her idea, something shifted. I realized she wasn't what I'd feared. She wasn't an interloper or a rival, she was a friend, or soon might be. Then Michael walked in, carrying the mail. He glanced at Anna, surprised, then at me. I watched uncertainty flicker in his eyes. Anna stood and offered her hand. Hi, I'm Anna. I came by unexpectedly. Michael mumbled introductions. He looked at me. I nodded, and he exhaled, a quiet, mutual understanding passing between us. We all sat down, 3 people in our living room, muffins on the coffee table. I felt the tension ease. Anna was friendly, warm, and genuine. She had no secrets, nothing hidden. And as the conversation drifted into light laughter about my overbaked muffins and Michael's misguided attempt to help by checking the mail, I felt something remarkable click into place. Later, Anna stood to leave. I walked her to the door, and for a moment I realized how much I'd misjudged the entire situation. I had imagined intrigue or betrayal, but instead found friendship. I closed the door behind her and leaned against it. Michael was silent behind me. I turned to him and he wrapped his arms around me. No blame, no weight, just relief and renewed trust. We made a fresh pot of tea, sliced more muffins, and sat together in the sunlit living room. I realized then, sometimes we fear what we don't understand. And sometimes a door opens not to chaos, but to clarity and new beginnings.